Welcome, welcome. You've been waiting, and here it is, another Dougcaster!
Oh boy!
The Dougcaster. Oh, welcome. Thanks for coming. I appreciate you coming in. Do you know where you are? Do you know where you are? The Dougcaster. That's where you are. So relax, just enjoy. Make yourself comfortable. Well, right now, it's Sunday morning after Thanksgiving, and the beer I had for breakfast wasn't bad, so I had one more for dessert. I rifled through my closet, through my clothes, and found my cleanest dirty shirt. You know, 'cause Sunday morning, on a sleepy Sunday sidewalk, doo-doo-doo-doo-doo, I'm wishing, Lord, that I was stoned. 'Cause there's something in a Sunday that makes a body feel alone. And there's nothing short of dying. It's half as lonesome as the sound of a sleepy sunny sidewalk on Sunday morning. Coming down. Made popular by Johnny Cash, the late Chris Christopherson, and the late Johnny Cash. Everybody dead but Willie. We still got our Willie. You still got your Willie. You should feel all right. I mean, the last thing you want to lose is your Willie, right? The last thing you want to lose is your Willie. Anyway, so Thanksgiving, I went out to my parents. It wasn't a very big gathering. Grandma was there because she's been living there since the tornado. And my sisters and brother-in-law and their kids and my brother and my dad and my mom, obviously. And they cooked Thanksgiving dinner. I went out there around 11:30 or noon and drank a whole bunch of the Jim Beam bourbon that I brought. And we had dinner. No politics were brought up, so that was nice. It wasn't too bad. It was a nice little time. My sister made this cranberry salsa, like cranberry, but it had hot peppers in it too, and it was like a salsa. And she brought it down on this block of cream cheese, and you're supposed to scoop it into the cream. So I took a little bitty scoop of it, and I was like, that's all right. It's interesting, but it's not a dip. It's something you put on a dish to make it that kind of dish. Like you could make fucking cranberry salsa chicken, or not necessarily chicken. What do you call them? Restaurant tacos. What do you call them special craft tacos? What the fuck? Street tacos. Street tacos, motherfuckers. Yeah, you could have yourself this is my cranberry salsa, and then whatever you have with it, maybe turkey and salmon, I don't fucking know, with cranberry salsa. That's your street taco. Okay. I played him the little video on Shit Yo Pants Vids. The one where I'm playing guitar, Burgess Beardmore live at the pit. If you haven't seen it, just YouTube, you just search Shit Yo Pants, all one word. Yo is just Y-O. Shit Yo Pants, space, vids. And you gotta type in the whole thing and hit enter, and then you'll find Josh's channel, and then you find Burgess Beardmore live at the pit. It's like a little 3.5 minute thing where I'm trying to play guitar, and I'm not really good at playing guitar, but I'm just being kind of hamming it up while doing a little Burgess Beardmore action. And then I was like, oh, because I did it at my buddy's, Josh's. JP, shout JP. He went to pick his kid up, and I was over there, and I was like, I don't want to run along. I'll just use your iPad here. I'll make something. And so I recorded a little thing of me, and he edited it down and added a bunch of sound effects and put it up on the channel. And there's one place in particular where the sound effect makes the whole video. Like there's a sound effect, and then I make this stupid face like it was synced up, like I heard it or something. I don't know. It's really good. It's okay. It's okay. I like it. I like it an awful lot. So go check it out. Burgess Beardmore live at the pit. And you can find that on Shit Yo Pants Vids. You can also find Aussie Love Aussie Love, he's got two Australian Shepherds. Stark, my dog, is an Australian Shepherd. And he's been doing things where he uploads little videos of them all spliced together with some music in the background. The most recent one, he did classical music. And I was like, that's what you need to do. Stick with the classical music. That's perfect for dogs, doing cool dog stuff. I also recommend that one. He's got all kinds of stuff on there. You got to go check out Rusty Demos Remastered. It's the whole album from like 2004. It's great. But anyway, it's departmentized. So you can like skip, even in YouTube, you can like skip like it was a CD and go to any track. I think if you're watching on a TV, you got to hit like pause and then down or something like that. On your phone, you just got to go to more. Okay. So Thanksgiving, had a nice little Thanksgiving dinner, had a few drinks. We watched my little video. My dad and my brother and me watched the new Anthony Jeselnik special on Netflix because it was like, what are we going to watch? And I was like, hey, there's a new Anthony Jeselnik special that just came out on Netflix yesterday. And they're both familiar with him and they like him. So they're like, yeah. So we watched that. It's pretty good. He's pretty funny. I've listened to him on a few podcasts recently because he's got the special coming out, so he's doing the podcast rounds. I don't know. At least he was saying he's considering retiring. Are you going to retire, Anthony Jeselnik? Oh. Anyway, we watched that. It was pretty good. And I was fixing to leave, and my sisters and their dog Gordon. He's like some sort of sheep kind of dog. I don't even know what to call that type. Jack's the same type, the neighbor dog Jack. Very similar, but Gordon is a thoroughbred. Gordon is named after Alf. If you remember, if you're old enough, Alf, his name was Gordon Shumway, and he came from the planet Melmac. Well, anyway, this dog is named Gordon Shumway, but he goes by Gordy. So... And I'd had my Jim Beam, and I've given him all kinds of names. I'm like, you should have been called Grady. I like Grady. Grady rolls off the tongue. And it's funny because we were growing up, we had a neighbor named Gordon and a neighbor named Grady, which is totally irrelevant to it. But for some reason, I thought Grady sounded like a better name. And then I changed it to Gravy, and then I just started calling him Gravy. And then it got to the point where I couldn't even remember what his name was. And then anyway, I was finna to leave, me and Stark, and so I was like, hey, I could take your dog for a night or two. I was like, he could come hang out with us. It'll be fun. And they're like, okay. They gave me his dog food, and I took him home. And as soon as I got him home, I brought Jack over. So let's show some video stuff. So here's Grady, Gordon. This is Gordy. This is Gordy and Stark running around. This is out past my grandma's. I went out there earlier this year. This is probably May or earlier. And I walked all the way over to grandma's with the dogs, and we went out back behind there in the wooded area. And it's a cool little wooded area video. Anyway, that's Gordy and Stark. And so Gordy came over, and I brought Jack over right away. And so Jack comes in, and I've never heard Jack growl before. He's been picked on. Like when Bandito comes to visit us, he's had to stay here a couple times because Trish had something she needed to do, my friend Trish. And so her dog came over. Bandito's kind of a lot. And I brought Jack over with Bandito. And then both Stark and Bandito were like, I don't really like Jack. So they both stand around like right by him, just kind of like with their teeth kind of bared. And every once in a while they'll try to snap at him if I don't be like, hey, knock it off. So poor Jack's just kind of walking around. Jack's bigger than both of them. Jack could take him, but Jack's not mean. He's a big old sweetheart. I think it's kind of the same thing with Gordy. But Gordy and Jack both have their balls too. They're not neutered, and they're both like 6 years old, somewhere around there. And so I bring Jack over with Gordy in the yard, and Jack he comes in and he looks at Gordy and he growls. No teeth, no nothing, no face, all in the belly, just like this rumble from the belly, just this. I'd never heard Jack growl before, but he was all right once he got settled down and everybody hung out and got some treats. They hung out for a little bit. It was chilly though. We didn't stay out too long. And then we went back inside and took Jack home and the dogs came in and everything was fine. I hung out. I don't know what I did. Watched some TV, listened to some music, something like that. And Gordy was doing all right. He's having a good time, but at the same time, he's a little on edge because Stark just follows him everywhere and just stands up like next to him, just going, why you got to give Gordy such a hard time? Stark, why you got to give Gordy such a hard time, eh? But they're all right. And then it get to be the end of the night, going to bed. Stark's routine is he gets up on the bed for between 10 and 30 minutes, and then he hops down and goes under the bed, scooches down. It's a tight little squeeze, but he likes it down there, so he scooches under there. You can hear it. And he gets under there so that his ass is hanging out or a leg or something. It's a lot of work to get under there. It's pretty narrow, but he likes it. That's just what he does. So he's up on the bed, and I'm like, well, what if Gordy's going to find a spot to lay down on the floor? I wonder if he's going to be all right. And then Stark did his hop down and crawled under the bed like he does. And immediately after he hopped down, Gordon hopped up, and Gordon made himself comfortable, and he slept all night on the bed. He was fine. He was a good boy. He wasn't no trouble at all. Got up in the morning and took him back around 10:30. Not an exciting story, but Gordon came to visit. All right. I got a story to tell you. So, it's hunting season. All you people out hunting and stuff, you gotta... I don't have a problem with it. If you're going to kill an animal so that you can eat it and you get the deer meat in the freezer, that's fine. Just do your best to try to get it in one good shot. Like try not to give... I don't want any conscious animals suffering at the hands of anybody. Any conscious creatures, myself included. So, hey, do your best to get it in one shot and drop it. But of course, but I'm not a hunter myself. But like I said, I like deer meat. Venison is actually pretty tasty. Anyway, so my cousin Jamin, he's a year older than me, so he's like 47, 48, late 40s. And he's out with his dad. They're deer hunting. And old Uncle Jim, I don't know how old he is. He's in his 70s. And they're walking a tree line. And Jim's on one side and James on the other side. There's a good 15, 20 yards between them. And Jamin hears his dad cry out. So Jamin makes his way over there, and Jim's just laying there, and he's not moving. Jamin calls 911. He says, hello, my dad, I think he's had a heart attack or something. He's not moving. I think he's dead. And the 911 operator says, okay, calm down. First thing we have to do is make sure he's dead, okay? And James says, okay. And he sets the phone down. And it's quiet for a second. And then, boom! There's this loud gun blast. And Jamin picks back the phone. He picks the phone back up and says, okay, what now? Jokes. We got jokes today. Jokes are funner when you make them about somebody, right? Personalize them a little bit. Make them slightly believable at the get-go. Right? Okay, so do you know what Dubai is? Do you know what Abu Dhabi is? These are two cities in the United Arab Emirates, what we used to refer to as Saudi Arabia. So in Saudi Arabia, there's these two cities. Abu Dhabi is actually the capital of the UAE, the United Arab Emirates, and Dubai is the biggest city there. It's very fancy and techy, I think. So this, hope I don't ruffle any feathers here, but what's the difference between people from Dubai and people in Abu Dhabi? What's the difference between people from Dubai and people from Abu Dhabi? Well, you see, in Dubai, when old reruns of the Flintstones are shown, people of Dubai do not care to watch it. They just do not care to watch old reruns of the Flintstones in Dubai. But people from Abu Dhabi do. Abu Dhabi do. Flintstones, meet the Flintstones. Da-da, kiss my ass right now. Hey. I can't do too much slide whistle. It's so fucking hacky. But I kind of love it. Okay. Those were our jokes. Did you like them? I liked them. Let's see. What are we going to talk about first here? Oh, let's see. That's going to go off in all kinds of directions. So let's just start. I watched it. It's movie time. Movie time. Movie time. So, recently on Halloween at Josh's party, I tried to DJ some Tom Waits' Night on Earth, the soundtrack. I'd never seen the movie. I seen it was on HBO the other night, okay? So Night on Earth is a movie directed by Jim Jarmusch. Jim Jarmusch he makes some weird little kind of quirky movies. He's got one, a good one is called Dead Man. It's got Johnny Depp in it, and he's like, it's a weird thing. It's sort of set in an Old West time, and there's an Indian there. Oh man, I should have looked up the name of this Indian. Oh, I think I still have Reservation Dogs IMDb. Oh, and Native American. Sorry, but he plays nobody. The Native American's name is Nobody. It's called Dead Man IMDb, and it's in black and white. And the whole soundtrack is just Neil Young, just noodling on electric guitar. Not really noodling, just like, long. I gotta look up the name of this guy. He's in Reservation Dogs too. He plays the uncle. Is it Gary Farmer? I think it's Gary Farmer. Hold on. This is loading slow. Why is this loading so slow? Gary Farmer plays nobody. Anyway, if you haven't seen Dead Man, I recommend it. The soundtrack on that one kind of, it's a little bit much. Just the Neil Young just kind of like noodling in the back. It gives it a weird. The movie's got a weird feel. It's a neat little journey. And the guy called Nobody, like Johnny Depp ends up teaming up with him, and at some point somebody ambushes him, and Nobody's off to the side somewhere seeing what's going on, but they're like, is anybody with you? And he says, nobody is with me. And they go, oh, okay. I wonder if they named him that just for that line. I don't know. But the best part is Nobody is always saying, stupid fucking white man. Stupid fucking white man. Yeah, I like that. I like that. I like that. Yeah. You'll see, he's got Broken Flowers. That's a movie with Bill Murray. I don't really remember it. Oops. What else has he got? He's got some more movies. I can't think of any more off the top of my head. Down by Law. Down by Law is a early 80s movie. It's also black and white. And it features Tom Waits acting in it. It's like three guys break out of prison, and it's them. They get out of prison and they're just trying to live their life. They're not like crazed, super bad criminals or anything. They're just like, well, let's find a place to stay. I don't know. Yeah, Down by Law wasn't bad. Jim Jarmusch, he's just sort of like, he just presents something. And it just is what it is. Like this, so Night on Earth, I was trying to DJ the Halloween party. And I tried to put on Night on Earth, the soundtrack for a minute with Tom Waits. There's not a lot of vocals in it. It's mostly instrumental stuff. Just Tom Waitsy stuff from the very early 90s. And this old lady comes out, put on music. And I was like, oh, yeah, you're right. So we put on, we had a good time. But we had a good time. Good times was had by all. That's a good time right there. That's what a good time sounds like. I think it's defective. I just see a nice piece of spittle fly. Okay. That's the little inside scoop, a little piece of spittle fly. But anyway, so I was aware of the soundtrack, but I hadn't seen the movie, and I seen it was on HBO. So Jim Jarmusch directs it. And it's, how many? 5 different little things. And the thing that they have in common is that they're all at night in a taxi cab in a city somewhere in the world. So the first one's LA. And these are short little, not really short, like they're between 20 and 40 minutes apiece. And the first couple are super anticlimactic. I don't know. It's interesting. It's different. Very artsy. But the first one's in L.A. Right, Winona Ryder is the cab driver, right? And she looked so young. And she was, she played a young cab driver, like she's 18 or something, like that's what she's playing. But she looked so young. She looked like a kid. And I looked it up. I was thinking that was before him. But no, this Night on Earth was in 1991. Beetlejuice was 1988, and Edward Scissorhands was 1990. So, I don't know. I haven't seen those in forever. I guess she was a kid in those, wasn't she? I don't know. I was a kid when I watched those, so, she was just hot. I haven't watched those movies in forever. When you're a kid, the 14, 16-year-old girl on TV, when you're a kid, you just kind of fall in love a special way. I remember when I was a kid. Oh, this is embarrassing secret. What was her name? The oldest daughter on Full House. Her name was like Candace something. Candace Bergen? That's not right. Well, I can't even remember the name of what she played. But I was a kid. I was a couple years younger than her, and I was like, oh, she's so cute. Oh, she's so cute. Anyway, so the first one has got Winona Ryder in it driving the cab. And we're just going to go with spoilers. I'm just going to tell you whatever. If you want, Night on Earth, I don't know that it really spoils it so much since they're just like little vignettes. So she picks up a ride at the airport, and it's this lady that's like a producer or a talent scout or something in the movies, and they got a problem. They can't find the right part. They can't find somebody to fit this role. And Winona Ryder as the cab driver fits the description of like tough or whatever that they're looking for. And so she, at the end of the cab ride, she ends up being like, hey, here's the deal. You want to be in a big movie? There's this big movie coming up. You'd be perfect for it. You'd be a star. What do you think? And she's like, nope. I like driving a cab. I'm right where I want to be. I got a plan. I'm driving this cab, and then I'm going to become a mechanic, and then I'm going to find a nice man and marry him. And that's my plan, and everything's going perfectly for me right now. Everything is going perfectly according to my plan. So, nope, I don't want to be a movie star. That was the end of that one. Pretty anticlimactic, but it was kind of neat. The next one was in New York, and this one just anticlimactic as it gets. This one also features somebody you'll have heard of. Rosie Perez plays a part. I thought it was her too. I had to look afterwards to see, and I was like, okay, because I wasn't sure if I was being stereotypical or like I'm not even sure if Puerto Rican is right, but I was like, is this just a stereotypical thing that a lot of people do that are trying to do that particular thing, or is this just Rosie Perez? And it was Rosie Perez. But this one, this black guy's trying to get a ride in New York. Now we moved to New York. Now we're in New York, and this black guy's trying to get a cab ride. and the cabs won't pick him up. And then finally this guy picks him up, and he gets in the cab and he says, "Take me to Brooklyn." The guy, "Okay." And the guy's got one foot on the gas and one foot on the brake. And so he like goes a little bit, stops, goes a little, just keeps jerking forward. And this guy's from Germany. He's an immigrant. In Germany, he was a clown. But here in New York, he's a cab driver. And it's like the first person he's picked up or something. And so the black guy, I'm sorry, I didn't recognize the actor's name. The only two people in this whole thing were Winona Ryder and Rosie Perez. I didn't recognize anybody else. In fact, the later ones in different countries, like I think that those are people from those countries. Where's my beer? Oh, here it is. Pardon me a second. So the black dude is like, "Man, you can't drive. You can't drive. Here, let me. I'll drive. I'll still pay the fare. It'll be cool." So he gets in the front, and they're talking, and they're getting along all right. It's just sort of a little slice of life thing. They're driving over there. "Your name's Helmut? Helmet, like someone wears on their head. Helmut. What is your name?" "My name's Yo-Yo." "What, like the toy?" No. You silly, because you're like Helmet. My name's Yo-Yo, but it's serious. It's not like the toy. My name is Yo-Yo. I don't know. I thought it was terrible. I didn't do a good job of that at all. That's not what he said, but that's kind of the gist. And then he's getting towards Brooklyn, and Rosie Perez is walking by, and I guess it's his sister-in-law, and he stops, and they're yelling at each other, and he gets her in the car finally, and she sits in the back, and she just Rosie Perezing it up. and then it just kind of ends. They just kind of end. And then there's one in Paris. This black guy from the Ivory Coast of Africa is driving the cab in Paris, and there's these two black guys in his cab, and this is all in French, so it's all subtitled. All the rest of these ones are subtitled because they're in their native language. So this is all in French. And they're giving him a hard time and shit and be like, "Look at the cab driver, he's so fucking ugly." Ho, ho, ho. Oh, and they're trying to guess where he was at from Africa, and they're just kind of being dicks. So he kicks him out. And reminder, all these are like, it's night in a cab, and it's like 4 a.m. These are like 4 a.m. cab rides. And so he ends up picking up this blind girl, taking her for a ride, and she's sort of sassy and just like not taking any shit. And he's nice to her and asking her questions and stuff. It's, I don't know, it's a nice little cab ride. And then he drops her off and then immediately gets into an accident within hearing distance from her. And he gets out of the car, and this other guy hit him, and he goes, "What, are you blind?" I don't know if the whole thing was for that, if it was supposed to be a joke. I don't know. It's kind of amusing. Okay, then my favorite one. My favorite segment of Night on Earth was the one in Rome. So the cab driver is annoying as fuck right off the bat without anybody in his cab, just him driving around, talking to himself. He's got these sunglasses on. He's just constantly just making jokes that aren't very funny to himself and just adding weird noises. I don't even know what the noises were. So he's driving around these sunglasses at 4 a.m. And at one point he's like, "They should put some new street lights up. I can't see shit out here." So he ends up getting a call to pick up a priest. So he goes to pick up the priest. It's on a roundabout, right? So it's a round thing. You drive around it and get off of any of the 4 directions you want. So the priest is on one side of it, and he pulls her up around it about 3/4 of the way to the priest. And the priest starts to walk towards the car. And he backs the car up about halfway around the thing. And the priest starts to walk that way. And then he goes forward again the other way, like 4 or 5 times. And he finally lets the priest in. He's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, the statue there. I didn't see you because of the statue. I couldn't find you." And something else. This guy looks like somebody. He looks like Vernon, okay? If you know who that is, he looks like Vernon. And he's annoying. And so the priest gets in the car, Yeah, the priest is like seeming like a little rough, and this guy, he starts his yammering right up, and he's like, "Priest, I want to confess to you. I want to confess to you, priest. I got something to confess to you." And the priest is like, "This is not the place. This is not the time. No, it wouldn't be proper." And he's like, "Please, please, you won't even have to pay the fare. You just gotta let me confess. These things weigh very heavy on my soul. If I do not confess, I'm afraid I'm gonna die and go to hell. Ah." And the priest is like, "Oh, no, no, it wouldn't be proper." And the guy just ends up, doing it anyway. Oh, you ready for this? This is in Rome, reminder, so it's all in Italian. Hold on, is my shit recording? Okay, it's still recording. The screen stopped for a second. So they're in Rome. Man, I should edit that out. I'm not gonna. So they're in Rome, and he's like, "Okay, Father, I gotta confess." He says, "Okay, when I was growing up a young boy, and the other young boys, we didn't have any release. We were growing up. We were like 13, 14. We didn't have any release. We needed something. So we find these pumpkins, and we each cut a hole in our own pumpkin. And with the soft insides and the seeds, oh, it's very nice. We find release with the pumpkin." So he's funking these pumpkins. And I don't know if the other boys continued to do it, but I stopped. And then he talks about, and time went on, and there was this beautiful sheep. There was this beautiful sheep. She was not like the other sheep. She was soft and she was elegant. And all the other sheep, they go, "Ba, ba, no, no." She was, "Ma, ma." And he goes on about how the sheep was erotic and how he fucked the sheep and yada, 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 and how he loved the sheep. He loved that sheep. And then his dad found out because the sheep, whenever he was in the presence of the sheep would give him these loving looks. And so his dad found out, and so the dad took the sheep to a butcher. This mean, ugly, terrible butcher. Just a terrible, ugly, ugly man. And he says, "So now I don't eat meat anymore. And I don't eat vegetables either because of the pumpkin. I don't eat it very much." And then he says, and then one time he's with his brother's wife, and his brother's wife has been over the sink washing up, and her little dress is risen up, and he can see her panties and her ass cheeks, and the panties are kind of in her ass crack a little bit, so you could see all of one cheek, and they're woolen panties, and her ass looking like a pumpkin. And the woolen panties reminded him of a sheep. And so he fucking her. They start to fuck, and they fuck for an hour, for hours. And she's screaming, "Ah, ah, ah," and he's screaming, "Ah, ah, ah." And then the priest fucking has a heart attack and dies in the back of the cab. And he dumps him out somewhere. Oh, earlier in the thing, the priest is like, "Hey, would you fucking take your sunglasses off? It's dangerous." He asks very politely. And the guy takes his sunglasses. He's like, "Oh." Like he didn't remember he was wearing them. Like it just got dark and he'd been wearing them. And then the last one was in Helsinki. I think Helsinki's in Finland. Rome is in Italy, if you didn't know, and Paris is in France. LA and New York are in the United States of America. So Helsinki, which I think is in Finland. There's one there. This guy picks up three drunk guys, and one of them's even drunker. And the guys are kind of a pain in the ass, and they talk about all the rough times that the drunk friend has had. And then the cab driver tells about the rough time that he's had. And then the other guys are like, "Ah, fuck, you're right, brother. You're all right. Sorry, that's terrible. That's the worst thing ever. So yeah, fuck our buddy. Fuck him. His troubles ain't so bad. Losing his job, pregnant daughter, his wife kicked him out. His troubles ain't nothing. You're all right, buddy." So he just kicks them all out, and the two guys walk off home, and they're like, "Don't worry, he'll weasel his way into one of our houses by morning." And they go walking off. And then he wakes the guy up, the guy that was the roughest. He wakes up and he says, "Oh, you're the one that's got to pay me." They said, "Oh, okay." So he paid him. He got out of the cab. He kind of falls out of the cab, just trashed and just woken up. He sits down in the snow and the sun's coming up now. Just on the snow on the sidewalk, and he's like, "Oh," and you're like, "Is this guy gonna be all right? Is he actually anywhere near his place? Is he is he just gonna lay down and die?" And then two people are walking by on their way to work in the morning. And they're just like, "Hey, Audrey," just like, "Hi." And he's like, "Hey." And thus concludes the movie. And I think that's it for movie time. I'm planning to watch Oppenheimer. I watched about 10 minutes of it and then ended up going to go do something. I wasn't planning to watch it all in one sitting anyway, man. 3 hours is a lot. Why does everything gotta be 3 fucking hours? Oh wait, bonus movie time. Bonus movie time. I thought of another movie that I watched. Is this slide whistle going to be annoying or is it going to be great? Well, I'm going to have to listen to this back and find out. Either way, it's staying. The slide whistle stays in the picture, kid. Okay. So, Night on Earth was on HBO Max. The other one was on Netflix. It's called The Sisters Brothers. Eli and Charlie Sisters. Their last name is just Sisters. And they're brothers. So it's the Sisters Brothers. And they're outlaws. They're sort of working for this corrupt guy in an Old West type of setting. And he sends them off to do jobs and shit. And they get paid for that. So they're kind of for hire bad guys or whatever. And the Sisters Brothers, the two guys, are Joaquin Phoenix and John C. Reilly. Hey, how about that? Yeah. And so you know Joaquin Phoenix, so he's going to play some mix of crazy and dangerous. And he'll dial those levels, whatever's fit for the part. That's pretty much whatever he does anymore, right? Well, hold on, that wasn't fair. But he just lived up to that part, like in The Master, or I don't know what I've seen him in later, lately. The first Joker, I haven't watched that. I'm going to have to rewatch him and Joker. Because Joker 2 is coming out on Max next month, and I'm going to end up seeing that. So I should rewatch the first one. I remember watching it and being like, that was a fucking good movie, but I'll bet I'll never watch it again. It's probably one of those things where you watch it a second time, it's better. I don't know. Anyway, Joaquin Phoenix and John C. Reilly. John C. Reilly, it doesn't seem like he does a lot of serious parts, but when he does, he's really good in them. Like, he has a small part in Gangs of New York. One of his first big movies, Paul Thomas Anderson's The Hard Eight, or it's just called Hard Eight. There's no The Hard Eight. He was good in that. I don't know. I love Paul Thomas Anderson. I hadn't seen that one a year or two ago. I finally watched it. No, it wasn't his best, but it was good. The acting was good. You got John C. Reilly. You can't go fucking wrong. So anyway, The Sisters Brothers is a pretty good movie. I kind of don't want to give spoilers to this one. It's hard not to. So I won't say too much, but it gets pretty crazy. And it's just most of the movie is just you with these two brothers and their dynamic between them. And it's good acting. It's good. I liked it a lot. Jake Gyllenhaal is in it. He plays a smaller part. Jake Gyllenhaal is sent to get somebody. But he ends up teaming up with them because he's got something that could make him a lot of money. And then this thing that's going to make him a lot of money, the Sisters Brothers end up meeting up with them, and they don't end up killing each other. And they work on this thing to try to make money together. And I'm keeping this no spoiler so that they team up. That's a little bit of a spoiler. It's probably more annoying when I say spoiler than if I actually just spoil the fucking thing. Don't you think? Isn't it better to not say it than to hear spoiler? Anyway, that's not a big giveaway. There we go. We use the word giveaway instead. But the way that they make money fucks them all up. It's crazy. I was not expecting that, but it was a pretty good movie. I hadn't heard of the director, but the Sisters Brothers, pretty good. All right, what's next? We're gonna talk about yeah, we're gonna go on so many tangents on this, but I want to talk. There's a show on Max called "It's Florida, comma Man," because the comma is doing work there. If you say, if there's no comma and you say it's Florida Man, that's saying it's Florida Man. It's a Florida Man. I am Florida Man. Whereas with the comma, it's like, hey, it's Florida, dude. So that's it's Florida, man. All right. So I'm gonna go backwards on the episodes that I've seen because I don't have a lot to say about the later ones. But hold on, where's my thing? Where's my notes? Where's my notes? Oh shit! All right. So the episodes, there's just one thing of it so far. The episodes are Toes, Gator, Mermaids, Saucy, Bunnies, and Mugshot. I have not watched Bunnies or Mugshot yet. Saucy was an alright story about a nice weird old gay dude and this guy, his gay buddy that did him way wrong, but now they're friends again and they live together again. Hey, so this Florida Man thing. So it's kind of like Drunk History or something, where they do reenactments of it with actors, but it doesn't. It does interviews with the actual people, and then it does dramatizations also, and it doesn't use the audio from one and the other, but it's like in the actual person will be like, and I was like, that was it. Then it cut to the dramatization, and the person playing it would go, that's it, or maybe something like that. So anyway, Saucy was all right. What was the other? Mermaids was all right. It's about these women that work in like a park where there's like water tanks, and they wear the mermaid bottom half and a bikini top, and they swim around in the tanks and they put on shows and shit. So this girl joins the mermaids, and this other girl didn't like her and was giving her a hard time. But then this girl that was giving her a hard time there and got her fired from there, like moves in next to her and starts fucking doing satanic rituals outside of her house at night, with her cop husband participating in said sexual satanic rituals. And the funny part, the chick doing the satanic sexy rituals, for a minute I thought it was Sweet D from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, but my wires were crossed. I wasn't too far off. It was the gal that plays the waitress on It's Always Sunny. I don't even remember if the waitress has an actual name on that show. Anyway, that's all I have to say about that one. The waitress is in it. Gator, the actual guy, was probably better than the reenactment. I don't know. Guy, all hopped up on goofy pills, goes swimming in the swamp, loses an arm. That's not a spoiler because they're talking to him and he's got one arm right off the bat. Only got the one. Okay, so the first episode, Toes, 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 like the things on the end of your feet. The things on the end of your fucking feet, man, your toes. Oh, shit. Oh, how long has this podcast been going? Oh, I'm sitting on a bar stool, kind of propped up, because that's how I had the mic, and I didn't want to rearrange things. I should be sitting in this soft, comfy chair with the mic arranged down lower, but I've been propped on this bar stool at a weird angle, and my ass is kind of numb. My ass cheeks are a little numb from sitting on this bar stool. Okay, it's Florida Man, episode 1, Toes. Okay, so there's a little intro on this thing where it puts some stuff on the screen, like, yeah, the things you're about to see are mostly true, even though they're really stupid. I don't know exactly what it says, but it's gotta be Stephen Root. Stephen Root showing up again, doing the narration, the tiny little lead-in, same on every episode. Little lead in, Stephen Root. So you start right off with Stephen Root. I'm like, oh, this is going to be fucking good. Stephen Root. Oh, it's got to be him. Okay. So I'm going to let's lay out the story real quick. Okay. So here's the basic story. And there will be spoilers. I'm going to make it a point not to say spoilers a single time again, even when I go off into tangents for other shows, because that's the thing is that, like all these the people in this, I want to talk about other things they've been in. This isn't the greatest episode ever or anything. So here's the plot. Here's the thing that happened. That's the interesting Florida man story. So this guy's ain't got a lot of money, and he really loves this DJ called DJ Bossa Nova or Bass Nectar, something like that. And he really likes this DJ. And this DJ is going to be doing this show in Chicago or something. In Florida, obviously. They're in Florida. And he really wants to go see it, but he's going to need a couple $1,000s to go see his favorite DJ. How do you have a favorite DJ? I guess if you're out there clubbing or whatever. So he wants to do that. So he puts an ad on Craigslist like, hey, I could do whatever for money. Whew. Put an ad on Craigslist being like, hey. So this guy contacts him. And this guy's like, hey, it's a little crazy. And they go back and forth. And this guy is like, I had this fantasy. I want you to cut off 2 of my toes and cook them and eat them in front of me. And I'll pay you like $4,000. And the guy's like, okay, I can do that. No problem. And so he gets, and they both think another person should go with him. So he brings this other girl with him, and then they go to do that. Okay? So now we'll talk about the people in it. Sam Richardson plays the guy that's like wants to go to the concert for his favorite DJ, and he needs the money. He puts the ads on Craigslist. Sam Richardson. If you don't know that name, which I wouldn't have recognized it, but are you familiar with? There's a couple shows on Netflix with that Tim Robbins guy, who it takes a minute to get used to Tim Robbins, but I'm on board with Tim Robbins. Tim Robbins is fucking hysterical. He's got a sketch show called I Think You Should Leave. That's on Netflix. And the first time I watched it, I was like, this is pretty good. The second time I watched it, I was like, this is great. This is great. There's a skit where there's this like kind of like fancy corporate party, some cocktails, and boom, this vehicle rams through the wall, like drives right off the street into this building. And it's one of those hot dog cars, like shaped like a wiener, like some sort of like the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile or something. And it's stuck into the building. And everybody's like, "Oh my gosh, what happened? Where's the driver? This guy messed up. This guy's gonna have to pay the consequences." And then somebody pipes up in the party and says, "Yeah, get him, find him. He messed up. He's probably gonna go to jail." And this guy is wearing a hot dog costume. And they're like, "Oh, you're the guy. You were driving it." No. I've been here the whole time wearing this costume. I know you saw me. Just shit like that. But Sam Richardson's in that a little bit. And then there's another thing that just came to, they just put, it's a little bit older, but they just put it on Netflix. So I finally got to see it. It's called Detroiters. Like Detroit, like the city in Michigan. The Detroiters, or maybe just Detroiters. I don't think there's a the, but Detroiters is really good. Sam Richardson and Tim Robinson are, I just looked at his name that I had written down, and my N looked like an S. So for a second, I was like, wait, is it Tim Robeson? Robitussin? No, it's Tim Robinson. Anyway, Detroiters, Tim Robinson and Sam Richardson, they have a little ad agency, and they're just trying to make ads for people. And they're just both ridiculous people. It's very funny. I highly recommend Detroiters. Like, it's definitely as good as I Think You Should Leave. There's only a season or two of it. I think it's 2 seasons. Yeah, there's 2 seasons of it. I'm almost through it, but Detroiters. So I was excited to see Sam Richardson. I was like, hey, it's the fucking guy from the Detroiters. Woo! Okay. The next person I was excited to see, and it took me a minute to figure out who it was, but then I got it. Steve Little. Stevie from Eastbound and Down. I love you, Kenny. Stevie Little. So he plays the DJ, because they do some cuts about how good the DJ is. DJ Bassanova, Bass Nectar. I don't know what it is, something like that. I think Bass Nectar. Steve Little just plays him. At first, I thought it was Dave Grohl because he's got this long-haired wig and a little bit of a goatee, and he's kind of leaned forward with his hair over his face. You always see a little bit of his face. At first, I was like, a person with long hair and a goatee in a musical position. I'll bet it's Dave Grohl. It wasn't Dave Grohl. It was Steve Little. Okay. So now we got to talk about Eastbound and Down, right? Eastbound and Down. Kenny Powers. Sober and ready to destroy the competitions. What else we got here? We got so many tangents for this. Let's do some. I'm sober and ready to destroy the competitions. I want to read a couple Kenny Power quotes just for fucking fun. Okay, I gotta pick one. There have been many comebacks throughout history. Jesus was dead, but then came back as an all-powerful God zombie. Ryan O'Neal had his ups and downs, but is now back and better than ever. Well, my comeback is almost complete. I can say that when it is complete, I will shake the pillars of this land or town. My story is a story of a raging Christ figure who tore himself off the cross and looked at the Romans with blood in his eyes and said, "My turn now, cocksuckers." What does that smell? Oh, Jesus Christ. What'd you eat? Diarrhea? Fucking, if you haven't watched Eastbound and Down, like the first 3 seasons especially are great. First season is really good. Second season, he goes to Mexico to become a cockfighter. It's just so, and he gets cornrows. It's just so ridiculous. He plays if you didn't know, he plays a baseball player that has like fallen from grace. He was an up and rising star, and now he's jack shit and can't even get on any minor league teams. He gets on some minor league teams, but he's just such a fucking full of himself asshole. He's Danny McBride. This is key Danny McBride. Oh. Anyway, that's enough Kenny Powers quotes. Cut to black. Audience goes fucking ape shit. Kenny Powers on his inspiration for taters and tits. He's going to make like a Hooters called Taters and Tits. How does any genius figure out his inventions? I mean, how did Leonardo DiCaprio figure out about gravity? Because that bitch was sleeping underneath a tree and apple hit him on his head. There's no better feeling than winning, dealing your opponent the death blow, than standing over his lifeless body as the world around you leaps to their feet, falling all over each other to get a taste of your hero's jism. The immature man reveals in such... Hold on. Okay, this was good. This will be the last one, but I gotta start over. I wasn't expecting heroes' jisms. I can't remember all the quotes. I just remember it's constantly hilarious. And I'm reading these off, by the way, off the fucking internets. But the one with Will Ferrell where he's talking about having balls. Oh, my plums are ready. They're ripe. I'm fixing to take them to market. All right. This is how we're going to go out on the Kenny Powers. There's no better feeling than winning, dealing your opponent the death blow, than standing over his lifeless body as the world around you leaps to their feet, falling all over each other to get a taste of your hero's jism. Dude, I can't do it. The immature man revels in such adulations. The mature man, however, celebrates not, because he knows that every victory is just a precursor to another fucked up test. I'm gonna try it one more time. Fuck you, I don't care. There's no better feeling than winning, Dealing your opponent the death blow, then standing over his lifeless body as the world around you leaps to their feet, falling all over each other to get a taste of your hero's jism. The immature man revels in such adulations. The mature man, however, celebrates not, because he knows that every victory is just precursor to another fucked up test. Sounds like 50 Shades of Gross to me, motherfucker. Okay, I'm closing that tab. And where were we? Okay, so back to it's Florida, man. That was our Stevie Little branch off. Sober and ready to destroy the competitions. I don't have any good Stevie Little quotes. I looked. They're all like back and forth. There's no, I don't know. I'm sure there are, but they're not readily easily found. Okay, and then, so there's a black woman that I'd seen from Saturday Night Live, and I had the wrong name in my head. So it's Ego Nwadum. Anyway, I recognized her. She was pretty good. She was the gal that went with them. So one more person we got to talk about. So he's corresponding on the computer and everything. He hasn't met this guy that he's gonna cut the guy's toes off and eat them, but he hasn't met the guy with the toes. And so he's portrayed as he's portrayed as this weird nerdy guy. So that guy's actual name, the actor, is Matty Carteropple. And I recognize him from Reservation Dogs. He's been in a couple other things, but Marty Carteropple. He's a weird kid in the junkyard on Reservation Dogs. And that's just a total excuse to go off and talk about Taika Waititi. Reservation Dogs. He's I think he directs an episode or two. He's like an executive producer. It's like Native Americans on a reservation. It's like a different angle of life. It's just a great fucking show. That guy I mentioned earlier, I don't have his name in front of me. Hold on. Does this have the IMDb with the people on it? I'd like to say his name again. He's good. Where's he at? Uncle Brownie. He plays Uncle Brownie. What's his name? Oh, Uncle Brownie should have up there before there. Fucking Uncle Brownie, man. And the guy that plays like the sheriff in Reservation Dogs. I'm not sure what his name is either. He's really good. And I like this one kid. He's got this Native American spirit that always comes up and talks to him, and that's hilarious. I don't know. It's just really good. Taika himself plays this one kid's dad at one point. He plays a piece of shit dad. Why does it not show Uncle Brownie on the top cast? Shit, that's some fucked up shit right there. Anyway, Reservation Dogs is good, and that guy's in that. There's a episode where Bill Burr is a guy in an episode. He plays a driving instructor. Fucking excellent. And there's one where anyway, Mark Maron shows up in one episode. And he's good in it. He plays, I don't know, sort of like a house for troubled youth. The guy that runs the house. But anyway, Reservation Dogs, I recommend it. That's on Hulu. Other Taika Waititi shit. Back to the iPad. So my favorite, the reason I like Taika Waititi so much is fucking Jojo Rabbit. Have you seen Jojo Rabbit? You should totally watch Jojo Rabbit. I think it's got Scarlett Johansson in it. I feel like I might have mentioned this on the podcast before, or maybe it's just because I always talk to it about people. But Jojo Rabbit, this kid grows up in Germany, and he's one of the Hitler Youth, and his imaginary friend is Hitler. So there's this imaginary version of Hitler that's his best friend. And he finds out that there's a Jew living with him, like his mom's hiding a Jew in their walls, and he expects it to be her to be some terrible creature, but she's just a person that's a little bit older and kind of cute. I don't know. It's just pretty crazy. Sam Rockwell's in it. It's just such an important movie, dude. Jojo Rabbit. If you haven't seen Jojo Rabbit, go fucking see it. I just closed the tab, and then the tab for Jojo Rabbit opened up. Yeah, there's a kid, and there's the Gallup. So yeah, and Scarlett Johansson. Taika Waititi plays a small role. Sam Rockwell. Oh, Rebel Wilson. As if I don't know. I know her name. I don't know. I'm remembering the movie. Anyway, fucking Jojo Rabbit, yo. Fucking good shit. He also. Oh, there's another page of Kenny Power clothes. Turn that down. He also did. We gotta come back to that. We gotta do a specific order. He did Thor, Thor Ragnarok, and Thor Love and Thunder. I have not seen those. I cannot do the superhero movies anymore because he's, I think, the director on both of those. Like, I should probably watch him anyway, but I don't know if I will. I don't know if I will. Anyway, he did some movies I hadn't seen. He did one called Hunt for the Wilder People. I remember watching that one. It wasn't bad. Jojo Rabbit, which is 2019, sandwiched right in between the two Thor movies. Fucking great. And he does Our Flag Means Death. Have you watched that? It's on Max, HBO Max. It's actually kind of a good, funny little comedy. There's a bunch of people that show up in it in little cameos. Leslie Jones plays a pirate captain. But it's sort of based on there's a narrative that's like actually true. I've watched pirate documentaries about them, so Rhys Darby, fucking Rhys Darby plays the gentleman pirate who basically like left his wife in England and everything and just bought a ship and's like, I'm just gonna be a pirate. Fuck it all, I'm just gonna be a pirate. And so he comes over with the ship and Blackbeard is needing a ship. He's needing to sail on his own. So it's like Blackbeard gets to teach the gentleman pirate how to be a pirate and like start out on his own. So this is like when Blackbeard's rise. And so Taika plays Blackbeard and Rhys Darby plays the gentleman pirate. And I don't know, it's pretty good. It is kind of, it is a queer story actually, because Blackbeard and the gentleman pirate are become an item. I don't know why I'm laughing, but it's a pretty funny show. Oh, I just clicked on something I didn't mean to. But Rhys Darby, there's another tangent. Fucking Rhys Darby, you will know him as Murray from The Flight of the Conchords. Have you ever seen The Flight of the Conchords? I fucking love The Flight of the Conchords. Britt and Jermaine, they have this little musical number. They're a folk band of just the two of them. Guitars, bass, keyboards, drums, whatever they do, and they do funny little songs. They're from New Zealand. It's great. They had a 2-episode thing quite a few years ago now on HBO called Fly of the Conchords, which is a series about them living in New York and trying to make it as New Zealand's best folks band in New York. And their manager is Murray, Rhys Darby, and I don't know, Murray's just great. It's just great. Where's the thing I was gonna use? Did I accidentally scroll? I must accidentally scroll. But Murray runs the meetings. He's like, Murray, present. Britt, I'm here. Just say you're present. That's all you have to do is just say you're present. Okay, Britt, present. Jermaine, I'm here too, Murray. Present. Just say present, fellas. Like that kind of stuff. I got some quotes up here. I lost where the place I had one I was gonna do. Britt, Jermaine. It's just. Oh, and what the fuck's her name? The girl with the rabbit ears on Bob's Burgers. Kristen Shaw. Kristen Shaw's in it. She plays their fan, like their one fan. This other guy plays fucking Dave. Fucking Dave's great. Where's my Murray quotes? I can't find my fucking Murray quotes. Oh, sorry. Oh man, I can't find my fucking Murray quotes. I got this long thing. I'm scrolling through them. Oh yes. Wear an eye patch, Brett. This is a Jermaine quote. As David Bowie. Wear the eye patch, Brett. Wear the eye patch, Brit. Wear the funky, funky eye patch. So, you showed your penis to the man from the greeting card company. That was your idea. I didn't mean something like that. I only meant something like, I don't know, wear makeup or... Yeah, I was wearing makeup. I had lightning bolts on, I had lightning bolts on my wanger. I'm sorry. That was a very random one. Murray referring to producer Quincy Jones. What are some albums he's produced, Britt? Michael Jackson's Off the Wall? Yeah, wow. I'll say he is. He's crazy. Off the planet. Isn't he going to freeze himself? Okay, band meeting. Murray, present. Britt, present. Jermaine, present. All right, I haven't got time for your time wasting. I have good news. I have booked our biggest tour ever. The Grand Canyon one? Well, it wouldn't have to be that big to be... Oh, that's wrong. I'm sorry. I'm so angry I feel like swearing. Oh, Murray, you wouldn't swear at us. Go fuck yourself, Britt. Stuff you, Jermaine, and stuff you, Britt. And stuff you, Britt, again. Oh, why do I get double stuffed? Anyway, that's Fly the Conchords. Was that the last fucking tangent out of that thing? Fly the Conchords, dude. You gotta watch Fly the Conchords. Okay, and then you gotta wrap up the story. So, it's funny. So, there's the whole thing. The guy, Steve Richardson's character, is trying to go get money to go see Bass Nectar, DJ Bass Nectar. And he meets with this girl to go over to the guy's house. They show up to cut his toes off. And, like, they get all ready. They got it all sanitized. They got the big butcher knife. They got the skillet ready. And they're just about to start. And then he says, no. Oh, and it's funny. I mentioned the weird guy from the junkyard of the Reservation Dogs. So that's who they're picturing the whole time. So it's showing him. But when they actually show up at his apartment to cut his toes off, it's actually like this nice Asian, like a successful Asian looking dude looking like, I don't know, like somebody from Crazy Rich Asians or something. In fact, it might be. I don't know. I didn't watch that movie. I don't know. But they end up actually not cutting his toes off. And the concert gets canceled anyway because apparently DJ Bass Nectar was a pedophile or something. I forget the details, but that's the end. That's the end of fucking Bass Nectar Bossa Nova. All right. I don't know that I have anything else for you today. I think that's the podcast. Here, I'll come back and sing you out. Hold on. We go. On a Sunday morning sidewalk, I'm wishing, Lord, that I was stoned. 'Cause there's something a Sunday that makes a body feel alone. And there's nothing short of dying. Oh, man, I didn't do that very good. Let me try it again. And there's nothing short of dying. It's half as lonesome as the sound of a sleeping city sidewalk on Sunday morning coming down. Do, 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 do.